What's going on, everyone? My name's HNC. This is HNC Gaming, as always. Have you got the New World bug? Amazon Games' new MMO is taking Steam by storm. With that, whenever someone is new to an MMO, it can start to feel a little overwhelming. But don't worry. I got you. Here are 10 tips for New World players that should make life a little easier when heading into Eternal. Let's check it out.
Just like in real life, food is essential in New World. First off, eating even the most basic foods gives you a passive health regeneration buff. If you don't eat, your health won't come back outside of combat. A fun bonus for this one, if you go around to the different settlements, you'll see supply carts, and if your faction owns the territory, you can get free goodies from them. Here's a list of the supply carts and what they contain in the different settlements. Now that you've got something in your stomach, it's time to head out. This one is a bit of an MMO cliche, but it still holds true today. When picking up quests in questing hubs and while out exploring, grab all the quests you see in the area at once. Then, look at your map and plan your route of attack. This will greatly help with the efficiency of questing, but will also give you that sweet completion feeling, without going to the same area to kill boars 3 different times and wanting to pull out your own hair. Extra bonus tip, make sure to check out your local faction representative in your settlement every day. Your first 3 faction quests a day completed will give you extra XP and rewards, as well as those ever important faction tokens. Now that you've been out and about for a little bit, you've been eating and killing and collecting, whether it's wood, rocks, ores, skins, meat, or that fat loot. Your bags are going to fill up, and be careful, because when they do, you can't sprint, jump, or fast travel. Your carry limit can be boosted by crafting a coarse leather bag at the outfitting station in your local settlement. This requires 25 linen, 45 coarse leather, 10 iron ingots, and 1 minor rune of holding, sold from your faction representative, costing 1,000 faction tokens. Speaking of crafting, that brings us to our next point, Azoth. Azoth is a valuable material you get from completing certain quests, killing harder enemies, and looting in the open world. It can be used to fast travel around the world, but more importantly, in my opinion, it can be used for crafting. Looking at making that bag from the last tip? Well, if you add 15 Azoth to it when you craft it, you can get an almost guaranteed chance at higher attributes. Whether that means your bag will simply hold more than the plus 100 encumbrance you get from it, or it can hold more arrows, skins, wood, etc. But don't like RNG? That's fine. If you farm out special resources such as the animal fang from wolves, you can add that to your craft to guarantee an attribute. The animal fang, for example, gives you the tanner's burden, which lowers the weight of rawhide, leather, and skinning knives by 7.2%. You can find the special resource for whatever your needs. The trick will be farming it. By this point, you're probably noticing that gathering and crafting is a big part of New World. And while the flint tools you start out with are fine and dandy, as soon as you can, upgrade those tools. Making iron scythe, skinning knife, wood cutting axe, and pickaxe. The time to gather raw materials with even the next up in tier is greatly improved. When you're out adventuring, gathering, and questing, you end up dying. And when you die, your items lose durability. Now, admittedly, this tip took me way too long to figure out for myself when I was looking for a blacksmith in town my first night. If you simply hit tab to open your character menu and look right underneath your health bar, you'll see a partially transparent button that says Repair All. This will repair all your gear back to 100%, but it's not free, mind you. It requires coins and repair kits, which you can stock up on by salvaging your old gear and weapons as you upgrade and salvaging any other drops you get that you don't need. Bonus tip for this one, salvage. If you do this, you can hold more raw materials and keep stocked up on repair kits for the gear you actually do use. It might sound like a given, or some people might swear it off entirely, but there are tons of online resources available for the game. If you're watching my video, you're probably already slightly familiar. If you're planning on going out on a gathering run for a specific material in mind, plan ahead. Use newworld-map.com, link in the description, and you can toggle on and off certain crafting materials and plan your route to make sure you're not wandering out there for a while, trying to level up your mining and not finding any of those pesky iron veins. This is another embarrassing one on my part, but hey, I make the mistakes so you don't have to. When trying out new types of weapons or leveling up different weapon skills, make sure you actually learn what those weapons do. For example, it took me until legitimately about level 25 to realize I could zoom in with my bow by simply right-clicking. I don't know if I missed a tooltip or why I never tried it in the first place, but whenever I used the bow, it was always weak, poorly aimed hip shots that I just didn't like, which stopped me from using bows entirely. Then finally, later on, I got a new bow, I held the right click button, and it gives you a bit of a zoom and lets you charge your shots up for more damage. Duh. Another example of this, I see a lot of people running around with shields on their backs while not having a sword equipped as a weapon. When you're doing this, the shield is giving you no stats whatsoever, and it's actually making you heavier, possibly leaving you without the ability to roll or dodge well, for no reason at all. Shields without swords are pointless. Don't equip a shield unless you're running a sword as one of your weapons, or it will take up more space and more weight in your inventory for no reason. I have yet to buy a house, but from my understanding from some friends that have, and the consensus online, it's better to wait to buy your first house for a couple reasons. The main reason is because as a first-time homeowner, you actually get a 50% discount on your house. While that does make the tier 1 houses very affordable, they give you very minimal perks, and when you do finally want to upgrade to a higher tier house, you'll have to pay full price, especially if you're going for that sweet tier 4. Which is 20,000 coins, by the way, which could only be 10,000 if it's your first. Here are the costs, benefits, and requirements for housing that you can get in any of the main settlements. Save that gold, build up your standing, and buy a forever home once. This one's more of a tech tip for the game, but some people might find it useful. I'm fortunate enough to play on a pretty solid system with a 3700X and an RTX 3070. But even I get FPS drops when inside settlements with tons of players around. At the suggestion of someone on Reddit, I turned down my player nameplate amount to about 7 to 10, and this helped big time when inside settlements. You might have to fiddle with it a bit here and there just to get the ideal amount of names on the screen that you want without too much performance loss. But hey, it helps right now, and when everyone's flowing through the same zones at the same time, it can definitely help. Also, cap your frames in the visuals menu to 60 FPS. It can make the game a lot smoother, and with the demand on the game, I don't see a ton of reason to be aiming for 144 or anything like that. As a bonus tip for all you dedicated viewers, because you're the real ones here, hanging out all this time, I'm throwing in a very solid Flint spawner. I found it just before shooting and I figured I'd put it in here. Flint is super valuable, maybe not in price per item category, but in terms of amount, people always need a lot at endgame. Plus, with the floods of new players coming in the weeks after launch, those newbies will need some Flint for tools and weapons and arrows. Head out to Monarch's Bluff and you can see the location I've pinned on the map. If you hang out in this little area with some empty bags, you can get tons of Flint. Then go to your local trading post and put it up for sale for other non-aspirational players to purchase instead of farm. Prices do vary from spot to spot, so where and when you post them and for how much is totally up to you. For the record, I spent about a half hour farming in the spot last night, farmed up 1,000 Flint, and then posted them on the trading post for $1.75. When the next lowest was $2. Woke up this morning and it sold. So if Flint prices crash on your server, it's not my fault, I swear, but get it before it's gone.
Well, there we have it. Not even 10, but 11 tip for all you New World fans out there. I do plan on making more New World content moving forward, if you guys like it. So if you do like this video, make sure to let me know by hitting the like button down below. Alright, also make sure to check the description for any extra info and stuff that will be down there, like the website, housing info, stuff like that. Do you guys have any tips that I missed or didn't put in the video? Maybe I know them, maybe you think more people should know them. Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, things you've learned so far, because it's only been a week. Hasn't been that long. Hasn't been that long. But finally, once again, and as always, my name's HNC. This has been HNC Gaming, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.